report on a cursed river that attracted greed. The old men of the forest say that, back in the days when bearded men arrived on wooden ships with hanging crosses, there was a river that gave neither fish nor mud, but grains of gold. And not just a little. Heaps. Gold in nuggets. Gold among the sand. Gold stuck to the roots of trees, as if the jungle spat it out on a whim. But alas, it was not gold that Yaguareté, son of the great house of the Tapirape, sought. Yaguareté was strong, with arms like taut vines and a broad back used to carrying branches and water jars. His face was painted with anato, and he had the patience of a stalking jaguar. But he was not ambitious, nor curious about shining metals. Like his elders, he valued mud, firm earth, and dry sand. To him and his people, gold was a nuisance that stained the sand, a treacherous substance that was too heavy and useless for making pots or walls. It all began when Yingatu, the old chief, with a swollen belly and a thunderous voice, wanted to build a great ceremonial house in honor of the rain spirits.
I want columns of mud and walls of sand, like the ancestors had,
he proclaimed while shaking his staff adorned with cerubi fish scales. That was when he sent Yaguareté and a group of young men to fetch good sand from the banks of the Carapiru River. Yaguareté set out at dawn, followed by his companions, Kurumi, Pindo, and Arami. They carried woven baskets and machetes, singing softly to ward off bad dreams. When they arrived at the river, what they found left them confused. The shore was shining, not with the sun's reflection on the water, but with yellow flashes among the beach sand. Yaguareté dug his fingers into the sand, scratched, and snorted.
"That annoying stone again,"
he murmured, dropping a gold nugget the size of a bean. Kurumi, younger, picked it up curiously.
"Isn't this worth anything?" "It's worth a useless walk,"
replied Arami.
"You can't build houses with this."
That morning, they didn't fill even one basket. No matter how much they dug or tried, every handful was filled with that cursed shine. The gold blinded them to the sand beneath. It slipped through their fingers, stuck to their skin. It was like rebellious, unwanted sand. Back in the village, Yingatu awaited them seated on his stone.
And the sand?
He asked, chewing tobacco.
"The river is cursed,"
said Yaguareté.
"There is only gold, nothing useful."
Yingatu frowned.
Gold? And what am I to do with that? Bathe in nuggets? Mold mud with shine?
That same afternoon, they sent scouts upstream and downstream, looking for any stretch of the Carapiru that wasn't infested with gold. In every part, the result was the same: too much yellow metal, too little usable earth. The gold was, to them, like a plague that had contaminated the river. The elders, gathered in council, confirmed it. Houses made with mud contaminated by gold cracked. The gold prevented the mud from drying properly, attracted lightning during storms, and caused disputes among the youth. It had to be avoided. Thus, the whole tribe was forced to walk long distances, venturing into areas where the river did not reach. They went to the clearing of Kai Rendi, where the soil was red and hard, or to the hills of Yaguareté, where the dust was dry and clean. There they could build without the house smelling of greed or shining without reason. The eldest said that gold belonged to trickster spirits. "It shines to distract fools," said Grandmother Tupai. "It steals your soul and leaves you with empty hands." One day, strangers arrived. White men with pale skin and restless eyes. They had heard, who knows how, about the river of useless gold. They brought maps, chalices, and promises. When they saw the river, they went mad. They shouted, hugged, threw coins into the air like dry leaves. One even knelt down and kissed the shore. Yaguareté watched them from a tree, with Kurumi beside him.
Why celebrate if there is no mud?
Asked the young man.
Because their world is broken.
Replied Yaguareté.
Where we see earth, they see price.
It wasn't long before the strangers began to destroy the river. They carried sacks of gold, cut down trees, dug with shovels and metal tools, stirring everything up. The animals fled, the fish disappeared, and the water turned murky. The gold that was a nuisance to Yaguareté was their reason for war. Nyingatu, with a tired voice, gathered the people.
We will leave. This river has been cursed with greed. It is not for us.
And so they did. They abandoned the Karapiru, leaving behind their ancient paths, childhood games, and beloved trees. They searched for new lands where the sand was just sand and not a promise. Yaguareté, from the top of a hill, looked once more at the shining river and exclaimed,
Oh, so much gold for nothing useful. You can't even make a pot with this.
And the old men say the river still flows, dirtier and sadder, carrying gold that no longer shines as it once did. And, sometimes, if one listens carefully among the trees, they hear the voices of those who knew how to value mud more than metal. Because in that land, as in few others, gold was always the brightest nuisance of all.